I would shut down the federal government forever to protect children from being sexualized with federal tax dollars. So we do have a new lawsuit, it's a related matter in part, out against the Department of Education. We filed it on behalf of the Daily Caller News Foundation, which is a journalism entity that we've helped and litigated with and on behalf in the past. And we asked for records about specifically the book banning issue, or the non-issue. And a group called Moms for Liberty and Ron DeSantis down in Florida. And as you may know from following the news, the left is aflame because parents are concerned about illicit sexual materials and other inappropriate materials for children being given their children or being made available to their children in libraries and schools and elsewhere. And Ron DeSantis has engaged in some reforms in Florida, and representatives of Florida citizens have changed the laws and rules to protect children more significantly. And other American citizens are noting the pornography in schools and trying to get it limited. But the sexual extremists who are in league with the left and the teachers' unions and now the Biden administration are pretending that's some sort of First Amendment crisis by trying to protect children from sexually explicit materials, age-inappropriate materials, and pornography. I mean, they're on the side of, demons as far as I'm concerned. We filed the lawsuit in the United States District Court for the District of Columbia, which is the federal court here in Washington, D.C. All email requests, including attachments, URL links, and electronic database links of Miguel Cardona, to or from. Now, Miguel Cardona is the Education Secretary for President Biden. To or from the President of the National Education Association, Rebecca Becky Pringle, and President of the American Federation of Teachers, Rhonda Randy Weingarten, from June 1st, 2023 to July 15th, 2023. And basically we want all communications about book bans or book banning, all communications about Moms for Liberty and or Ron DeSantis. And then we also wanted records for his communications with the head of the American Library Association, Emily Drabinski, who is an extreme leftist who's now running the American Library Association. And all the lefties and the media are getting upset because states and localities are asking themselves, why are we working with the American Library Association that's pushing porn on children? What's really frustrating about this case as I look at it, and I noted it when we filed the release, is that we asked for records for emails for a period of 6 weeks. Okay? How many emails could there have been, or communications, between a cabinet secretary and 3 people over the course of 6 weeks? Right? Even if it's as bad as I imagine, it's only a handful. And they don't care what the rules require in terms of disclosure and transparency under the Freedom of Information Act. This is an example of how much contempt for the rule of law federal agencies have when it comes to transparency. And I'm not going to say it's a Democrat issue or a Republican issue, because both political parties do it when they're in control of the presidency. There's zero respect for FOIA and transparency. On July 4th, 2023, Education Week reported on a speech Cardona gave on July 3rd in Orlando, Florida, at the NEA's annual Representative Assembly. So he was down at the big teachers union event. He addressed Cardona addressed statements regarding woke ideology and indoctrinating students made by Republican presidential candidates at the Moms for Liberty National Conference in the days prior to the NEA event. Now, so the Moms for Liberty is a great group. It's a great grassroots group. It's kind of newish, but it's growing because moms are concerned about liberty. And as we note in the press release, they were initially found, got together to, I didn't realize it was so new. It's only been around since 2021, and it's already one of the leading grassroots groups on these parents' rights issues. And it was founded by 2 former school board members. The group was initially found to go against, the mask mandates and school closures in Florida schools, and then they expanded its mission to support parental rights legislation to give parents more say in their children's education. And the parents group has come under increasing attack by the extremist left, and the left is, it's calling it an extremist group and suggesting they're all terrorists. Moms going out there and making sure their little kids aren't being abused by sex talk in schools. So Cardona went over there to the NEA and basically made a crazy speech. Cardona dismissed the concerns that I was raising as, quote, divisive drama, slamming conservative policymakers who have pushed for book bans, restrictions on instruction about racism, limitations on the rights of LGBTQ plus students, and school choice priorities that divert public money to public-private schools. So the public teachers unions have moved beyond getting raises for teachers to opposing charter schools. Obviously, they don't like school choice in education. They also are fully behind this radical movement to sexualize children with pornography and other sexually explicit activities through their teachers, and there's no limit as to how young they'll go. Like I said, demonic. The Biden administration can't be allowed to hide this information from the American people, said Daily Caller News Foundation editor-in-chief Michael Bastek. Citizens have a right to know if their government is plotting against moms or working behind the scenes to keep pornographic books in school. So that's what our client says. This lawsuit, is what I say, aims to uncover the truth about the desperate new effort by the Biden administration and its leftist teachers union allies to smear and target parents who oppose sexually explicit and other extremist content being made available to school children. So we already have a separate lawsuit against the FBI over their using various systems available to them to target American parents, supposedly based on teachers union fronts. This is the School Board Association. You may remember they started targeting parents as terrorists. So we have a lawsuit on that. But here we have the Education Department obviously collaborating and colluding with the major teachers unions, who are big-time donors to the Democratic Party, which is their right? But the American people have a right to know what the government's doing with these groups, especially if it means abusing our kids. So we're proud to file this lawsuit with the Daily Caller News Foundation. We're proud to be behind Moms for Liberty and trying to protect them indirectly by exposing the targeting of them. You shouldn't have to worry about the government coming after you if you want to defend your kid from government abuse. This is America. And this is another example of how these budget fights that we are hearing about in Washington, D.C. with the continuing resolutions, appropriations bills, and whether the government should be shut down. I don't know about you, but I would shut down the federal government forever to protect children from being sexualized with federal tax dollars. And I think you agree with me, don't you? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.